And live pictures now out of Miami Gardens. The chief of police, they're talking about a shooting that injured one of his officers. Let's listen in.
One of our officers was in the parking lot of a business located at 183rd Street and Northwest 7th Avenue. He was completing an accident report when he observed a black BMW SUV pass his vehicle unrelated to the accident. As he looked at the vehicle made contact with him visually, backed up, and ambushed the officer by discharging a firearm in the direction of the officer. The officer, after receiving fire, took evasive action to further dive into the vehicle, in which time he was struck one time in the lower extremities. At which time he maintained his composure. He got on the radio as the subject began to flee and call out the description of the vehicle, description of the subject, and the direction of travel, and started pursuing the vehicle westbound on Northwest 183rd Street as they approached 10th Avenue. As other officers from the Miami Gardens Police Department joined the chase, the subject then, at approximately 20th Avenue, leaned out the window with a firearm and began to fire at the officers who were in pursuit of him. As he continued westbound on 183rd Street at 27th Avenue, he then again leaned out the vehicle and began to fire more rounds at additional officers who had joined the chase. As he proceeded to our location now, which is 183rd Street and Northwest 32nd Avenue, he entered the intersection and crashed into a vehicle, and which time he bailed out of the vehicle and ran into the southern direction, to which he was apprehended in the back of one of the yards in the area right now. We have the subject in custody. The officer is doing good. He has non-life-threatening injuries. He was transported to a local hospital to where he's receiving treatment. And none of our officers discharged any weapon because we didn't have an opportunity to. The officer was ambushed. And one of the things that I want to say is, in the day and age that we're policing our communities and we're policing our country, the violence must stop. I want to commend the officers from the Miami Gardens Police Department for not only apprehending this individual, but doing it with professionalism. And it's kind of hard to say doing it with professionalism when you're undertaking fire. But they did an outstanding job. No one was hurt from the Miami Gardens Police Department other than the officer who was injured. No one from the community was hurt. And I want to commend them for an outstanding job. I want to thank all of our municipal and county agencies who assisted us and continue to call and offer assistance to help us get through this tragic time. But I must say that the violence against police officers in this country must stop. The violence against children must stop. The violence against our community must stop. No one is exempt from violence. We suffer as a community. We can overcome this as a community. We all must get together. It's not just a police officer's responsibility. It's not just the social organization's responsibilities. It's the communities as a whole. We must come together and join forces and do what is necessary to bring this senseless violence to an end. And I can tell you that we are committed at the Miami Gardens Police Department. I'm in constant meetings with the county and other of our municipal organizations, our chaplains, our social organizations, that we're going to do everything within our powers to ensure that everything that's going on in this day and age, that we're gonna do everything to bring this to an end, because it must stop before we lose any more innocent victims. Thank you and have a nice day.